Hi, this is a tutorial on how to use the section scroll code for your project. So this is a little bit different than just scrolling down a long page. The page is divided up into panels or slides, if you like. And when you scroll, the next slide comes up and then the next slide comes up and an animation is triggered. So it works something like this. This is a very bare bones example. So I'm on this first page, I'm going to scroll. This comes up and the animation is triggered. I scroll to the next one and an animation is triggered. So to use this, you're going to have to download the zip file and let's take a look at the code. Basically here in the HTML, I have a div, which I've ID'd full page, and I have 1, 2, 3 sections. And each section is ID'd section 0, section 1, section 2. This is important. You need to maintain this naming convention. And they have to have the class of section. So I recommend downloading the zip file and starting with this and building your site out of this. And inside of each section is where you're going to put all of your content for each slide. In this section right here on the H2, I've given it an ID of move, and on this one, I've given it an ID of move 2. Up here, I added the CSS to the HTML file because it was so short, but you're probably going to want to put it in a separate CSS file. But I created a new class called active, which is a transition. It's not a CSS animation, it's a transition. And it this one translates it from one side to the other. You can transform, you can change the width, the height, you can rotate it, you can do whatever you want here. I'm just translating it from one position to the other, and then I have the transition duration right here at half a second. So this is a class called active that I have created. Now what's happening here, if you look at the JavaScript, remember we're still in the head tag here. We're still in the head tag. So I've included styles in the head tag and the scripts in the head tag as well. The head tag ends right here. So you could, let's see, where should I start? What you want to do is you can ignore all of this. What you're going to be focused on is the code right here. So if index equals 2, so index refers to the slide number. So the second slide had that first word H2 move in, and that one was called move. So if the index equals 2, so if it's a second slide, this is jQuery. It's identifying the ID that we have right up here, move, and it's attached to this div right here, the section, not div, but H2. Find move and add the class of active, which is the class that I've created right here. Add the class of active, and that's what is making it move across the screen. And then you've got an else if, which means if otherwise, if it's not number 2, if it's number 3, then find this element, move 2, which is right here, and add the class of active. So I've got 2 different active classes, but they're each attached to an ID. So they're a little bit different. And you can make as many as you want. You just need to copy and paste these 3 lines, else if, and then change the number to, 4th slide, 5th slide, and then make sure that your sections are labeled section 2, section 3. It starts a little confusing because it starts at 0 here, but the slides are actually 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just got to keep track of that. But other than that, that's how it works. So you just create different sections, and inside of those sections, you can animate different elements as they come onto the screen. So if you have any questions, just I should also say you need to have this line right here and this line right here, because the package, when you unload the zip file, there's going to be a jQuery full page. The library is called full page. So there's going to be some CSS. You can just ignore that. You don't have to mess with the CSS file. And there's a JavaScript file, which you can just ignore, but you have to make sure that you're linked to them. So there's a script tag right here that links to jQuery, and there's a link tag here that links to the CSS file that's included. And then there's a script tag here that links to the JavaScript file that's included. So you need to make sure you have all those. So I would start with the zip file provided and start building out from there. And that way you're ensuring that you have all the right connections to make this work. So if you have any questions, just talk to me in class. Good luck.